When I first started to make my living in music, to make my living as a performing artist, it was challenging, as I imagine it may be for you. And one of the things that was challenging was getting enough gigs to actually pay for my life, right? To pay my rent, to pay my bills. And so relatively early in my career, I started to teach singing as well as sing on stage. And for me, this was a really great choice. But I understand that even if you want to start teaching, you may be concerned about where those students are going to come from. And that's what we're actually going to cover today in this video, how to get your first paid student. Now, if you're not yet convinced about whether or not teaching is for you, I recommend that you watch my last video all about why teaching is a great alternative to your day job. Okay, hi, I'm Fiona. I am a business coach for performing artists specializing in mindset, marketing, and monetization. Teaching singing is one of the ways that you can monetize and diversify your income as a performing artist. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, join my free Facebook community. I did make it especially for performing artists. And definitely check out all the free resources in the description below. Okay, let's dive in. How can you get your first paid student? So today, we're basically going to cover two pathways to getting that first paid student. The first way is the community approach, and this is how I started. And the second way is the social media and internet way, which is how I expanded. Okay, let me explain. So the community approach is basically letting people know in your community that you are teaching. Now, what this can look like and what it looked like for me was actually performing a lot and practicing a lot in my living space. So I lived in an apartment building in Oakland, California, and I had neighbors who would walk down the halls and hear me sing. My first student was actually my across the hall neighbor who heard me sing and said, "Hey, do you teach singing?" And instead of saying no, I said yes. So that's tip number one, is when somebody asks you if you teach violin, guitar, piano, acting, whatever. Let's say they meet you somewhere and they meet you at a coffee shop, meet you in your apartment building. They're the mom of a friend. They're the friend of a mom, right? Whoever they might be. And they say, "Oh, you act," or "Oh, you play piano? Do you teach?" Instead of saying, "Well, actually, I've never done that," say yes. Or say, I'd like to. I'm interested in doing that. Are you interested? I could give you a break on the first lessons because I'm new to it. However you want to handle that, say yes instead of no, and then try it out and see if you like it. It's a great alternative to your day job. So this is how I got my first paid student, and then my second paid student was actually a fellow actor in a production of Kiss Me Kate, and he really liked the way I sang. He was a good actor. He wasn't a great singer or very experienced, and he said, "Hey, do you teach?" And again, I said yes, because why not? Now, following down this path of the community approach, actually putting up flyers in the YMCA, in the local coffee shop, in the cafe that you usually go to for your coffees. This is actually a tried and true old school way of getting students. It still works. And in fact, I've got a cute little Canva flyer that you can copy. I'm putting the link in the description. So simple. It's just one sheet of paper with your name on a bunch of slips that are cut, and people rip them off and walk away with your phone number. Or nowadays, they probably just take a picture, right? So actually just putting up flyers is still a really good way of getting students. Now, another good way of getting students is to perform. Actually go out and perform in your community. And again, this is just another way for people to see you. Now, at your performance, why not say, "I, by the way, also teach"? Okay, you're speaking to the crowd at the open mic, wherever you are, and you say, "Hey, I'm Fiona and I love singing and I also teach singing. If you're interested, hit me up after the show," right? It can be this simple. Now, this may seem like a no-brainer, but actually just telling people in your circle, in your network of friends, in your family, etc., that you are now teaching whatever it is you're teaching is huge. Just announcing it and telling people. Now, the next step from there is to actually ask the people in your circle, in your network, to spread the word. This could be your mom. You tell your mom, hey, I'm starting to teach piano, guitar, ukulele, whatever it is you're starting to teach, and say, hey, could you tell some of your friends, right? Think about who it is that you want to teach, or you want to teach kids, you want to teach adults, and then talk to the people who would know those types of people. Okay, so that was a bunch of ways in which you can actually just network in your community, whether you're putting up flyers, whether you're singing in your apartment building, whether you're telling your friends and family that you're now accepting students. And I know it may not feel like it's a real proven pathway, but it actually is. It can be that simple. Now, the second way is the social media and internet approach. When I was first starting to get my first students, there was not really the social media. Well, there was just not the social media that there is today, but there was the internet. And so having a website, which I did, optimized for keywords related to your area and related to what it is that you teach, absolutely will help. Putting yourself on the listing sites like privatelessons.com. I'll list some in the description, some of the other ones. You can Google search this as well. They absolutely help. I got a lot of my first students from a site called privatelessons.com. And by the way, you can get a lot of gigs from these things too, like Gig Salad and Gig Masters. I got a lot of gigs from Gig Masters when I was first starting out too. So those were the internet approaches that existed when I was first starting to teach. But now, of course, you've got all of social media. You have got such a massive advantage over what I had when I was first starting out. So then how do you get your first paid students via social media? Okay, it's not all that much different than the community approach. You basically need to tell people that this is what you do and give them samples of your work. When you go out and perform in an open mic, that's a sample of your work, right? The example for social media is putting out a YouTube video of you singing, putting out a clip on Instagram or TikTok of you performing. This is the same kind of sample of your work. And then just like in person, talking to your friends and family, you talk to your audience about how you're now accepting students. So you show your skills and then you talk about what it is that you're doing and you offer an intro session, right? On that free flyer in the community, you can absolutely offer a free intro session and you can do the same on social media. Now you say, okay, great, Fiona, but I see an awful lot of teachers out there on the internet soliciting for students. And yes, that's true, but it doesn't mean that it can't work for you. First of all, to get that first paid student is not that hard. But if you do want to take your social media to the next level to actually book more gigs and get those dream students, I highly recommend you watch this free masterclass. It's 2 hours. It's a real robust training on the mindset, marketing, and monetization strategies you need to really kill it on social media. Okay, the link is in the description. Now, I hope that these two paths are really clear to you, that you can do the community approach, you can do the social media and the internet approach, and that both ways are really relatively simple in terms of getting that first paid student. And if you're still not convinced about whether or not you should teach or if you have enough experience, then definitely watch that last video. I'll link to that in the description as well. If this video was helpful, then like it and share it and subscribe to my channel, and definitely follow me on Instagram and join my free Facebook group. I'm on all the things. Also, let me know what other topics you'd love for me to cover in order to help you rock your business. This channel is for you. I am showing up for you to help you to book more gigs, to get more students, to diversify your income, and to become a truly profitable performer. So the more you let me know what you want and need, the more I'm going to show up for you in the ways that will help you the most, right? If you thought this video was super useful, then you may also like these videos. And as always, go out into the world and let your light shine. You deserve to be heard, and the world deserves to hear you.